Often I think it should be called Yang Yang, because generally I think it's more important to start with a nice warming up of the body using our Yang practice, and then we slow it all down, get a little bit deeper into the actual joints and the fabric of the body using our Yin practice. So I guess why I picked it particularly for athletes is because we do tend to be quite dominant in our Yang side, so that's like our energetic, fiery side. Or masculine side per se, whereas our yin side tends to be neglected. So we spend so much time kind of flying around, doing our exercise, doing our sport, that sometimes we tend to neglect that gentler side that we actually need to work into a little bit more. So, I mean, there's such an amount of theory about it, I could go on all evening, but let's just get started. So to begin with, we're actually going to lie back on the mat this evening. So just lying back, bringing the flat of the back to the ground, and then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, pressing the soles together and just allowing those knees drop out to the side. And notice if there's a little curve underneath the lower back, and see if you can press that lower back into the ground until that lower back is fully supported. And then we're going to bring the arms down by the sides, palms open to the ceiling. And again, just check in that there's nothing around you that you're going to hit those arms off. So we're going to make some nice big circles here. So just work the shoulder blades together, open into the heart, connect the full length of the spine to the ground. As we inhale, we're going to draw those arms out, reaching back through the fingertips. Tip the fingertips together if you can, and as we exhale, we're going to draw those hands back down by the body. Inhale, reaching back. Again, see if we can keep the fingertips trailing along the ground. And then exhale them back toward the body. So continue with your own breath here, gently closing down the eyes here, and just focusing in on a little intention for this evening's practice. So what brought you to the mat this evening? Why are you here? And what would you like to be the outcome of your practice? Maybe it's just a little bit of extra energy you feel you might need, or maybe you'd like to send that energy to somebody else who's more in need of it. Maybe it's just a little bit of calm, a little bit of space. Maybe it's a more physical reason. So again, just coming to why I actually chose to be on my mat this evening. Again, every circle, just allowing those shoulders melt a little bit more, allow the heart melt a little bit more, and really trying to keep that connection of the fingertips on the ground for as long as we can. Last big circle, nice big stretch. And then exhale the hands back down by the sides. Lovely. From here, we're going to bring the knees together. We're going to hug those knees in toward the chest and just make a few little circles on the lower back. Nice and gentle in one direction, and then gentle in the other direction. So we're going to get quite yang-like, quite active in the practice for the first half, and then we go a little bit deeper for the next. So from here, we're going to crisscross at the ankles and take 3 or 4 rolls forward and back along the mat, only if it feels good. So you can meet fully up in seat, otherwise we're using that motion to massage the full length of the spine into the ground. Nice big rock and rolls here. And when you've taken your 3 or 4 rock and rolls, we're going to engage with the core to slowly draw ourselves up to seat. From here, we're going to come straight onto hands and knees into our tabletop. So again, those fingers are nicely spread. Think of our roots of our tree, shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward. We're literally pressing the ground away with the hands and really engaging with those shoulder blades. From here, see if you can suck the belly button in toward the back of the spine. So again, we have a tendency to dump into that lower back and loosen into the belly. So I want you to see if you can suck that belly button back toward the spine. So knees are about hip width distance apart. And we're just going to go into a few little rounds of cat-cow curls. So as we inhale, we're going to press the chest forward, gaze up toward the ceiling, arching through the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back toward the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, pressing into the ground, curling through the spine as we stretch through those shoulders. So continue with your own breath here. Nice little flowiness coming from front to back. Notice how the spine feels. So we're trying to iron out any little niggles, any little points of tension, of resistance to that movement. Getting a little bit freer with each wave. Last wave. Think about your body as a wave, just running from front to back. And then gently back to center. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to press the sit bones back toward the heels and just get a nice little stretch into the soles of the feet. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the hips up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to draw those heels down toward the ground. Actively pressing the ground away out front. So nice and active in those arms. We're literally pressing the finger pads and knuckles into the mat. Draw that chest a little bit closer to the ground as the gaze goes back toward the knees, maybe toward the belly. And then just gently paddle the feet out. So allow opposite heel melt toward the ground. As we keep those hips nice and active. Feet are about hip width distance apart or a little bit wider if you need it. And again, just notice how those legs feel. Notice how that lower back feels. Looking forward between the hands. We're going to gently walk to the front of the mat. Coming through a nice deep forward fold. Sigh out the breath here. Just let everything hang out here. Nice deep bend to the knees. Just allow the belly rest onto the thighs. Allow the head and neck relax. Give them a little shake. Arms relax, shoulders relax. We're going to tuck the chin in and then gently make our way up to stand. Head comes up last. So we're going to go through a few rounds of sun salutations, but with a few variations thrown in. So the first half of the practice is all about warming up, generating heat, working into the muscle fabric of the body. And then the second half is more about getting into the joints, the bones, those ligaments and tendons. Okay, if you need a drink, now's a nice time. When you're ready, we're going to come to the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, about hip width distance apart. Hands to heart, pressing the palms together, drawing the shoulders up toward the ears and then drawing them together down the spine, almost like you want to hold something between those shoulder blades. See if we can engage the toe muscles, engage the glutes and take that pressure off the lower back. We're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. Left foot to meet it. We're going to hold it here in plank. Nice strong plank. Shoulders stacked over elbows and wrists. Elbow creases face forward. And we're literally pressing the ground away as we press back through those heels for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Elbows tucked in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the chest forward as we press those feet into the mat. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Walking it out nice and easy. So again, just warming up into the body here. Not getting too deep, not getting too strong. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, right foot to meet it. Again, hold it here, nice strong plank. Notice if those hips have dropped, notice if the bum's up in the air. So just trying to get that nice straight line from the neck, through the spine, through the legs, and pressing away through those heels. For 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest into the ground, roll the heart forward, untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground as we lift the heart open. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. And again, walking it out, nice and easy. Again, actively pressing that ground away. Feel the strength in that upper body, really strong into the shoulders here. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Tucking the chin in, slowly rising up to stand. Second round, when you're ready. Little variations here. I'm just checking in here. There was a few people trying to get in. So I'm going to just pause between rounds. Yep, we're all good. Great stuff. Okay, coming to the front again. Hands to heart, pressing palms together. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. We're going to keep the right hand grounded. Inhale, left arm up toward the ceiling. We're going to bend the left arm. Bring the back of the hand to rest on that lower back. As we peel the heart open, take the gaze back over that shoulder toward the ceiling. Press through that right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes back to meet right. We're going to step the left foot back to meet right into our plank for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Elbows in, roll the heart forward, onto the toes. Press the chest forward. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Again, walk it out, nice and easy. Come back to your breath. Notice if you've been holding it. Notice if it's caught up in the chest. Really try to draw that breath deep into the belly. We're going to inhale, rise up. Stepping that right foot into lunge. Dropping the left knee down. We're going to inhale both arms out. Reaching up. Palms together. Exhale, hands to the front of the mat. Stepping left foot up to meet right. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to your center. Hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge. Keep left hand grounded. We're going to inhale that right arm up toward the ceiling, opening the heart. We're going to bend the right elbow. Bring the back of the hand to rest at that lower back. As we gently peel the heart open, take the gaze up. Pressing back through the left heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Right hand comes back to meet left. We're going to step that right foot back into our plank. Pressing the ground away. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Lift the chest forward. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Again, nice and easy. Using our downward dog to just reconnect with where we're at on the mat. Why are we here this evening? We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Dropping right knee down, we're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart, drawing the hands to the front of the mat. Stepping right foot to meet the left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Third round, really starting to feel that inner energy, that inner heat start to come. Hands to heart, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. Again, keeping that right hand grounded. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. Bend the left elbow, bring the back of the hand to rest on that lower back. Peeling the heart open as the gaze goes up. We're pressing that right hand into the ground as we press back through that right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes back to meet right. We're going to come down onto the right knee. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to inhale here, lift through the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the left. And we're going to rest that upper right arm onto the left leg. Hands are in prayer, hands face forward. And that left elbow points toward the ceiling. We're going to press that right arm into the leg. See if we can lift the belly off the leg. Take the gaze up toward the elbow or toward the ceiling. We might hold it here if you want to bring a little bit more balance into the pose. We're going to come off that right knee, press into the ball of the right foot as we press back through the right heel. Keep that twist nice and strong for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the right knee. Inhale, back to the front of the mat. Exhale, hands down to the front. Left foot comes back to meet right into our plank. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Keep those elbows tucked in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we draw those shoulder blades back. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Again, walking it out nice and easy. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Dropping left knee down, inhale both arms out, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. From here, we're going to draw the arms out into cactus arms. So really opening into the heart here. Notice if you've gone into a wee back bend. See if we can tuck the tummies in, draw that belly button toward the back of the spine. As we inhale, we're going to bring the fingertips forward, lengthen through the right leg and bring the toes toward the face. As we exhale, bend through the right knee, come back into cactus lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward. A little bit of a hammy stretch here. Exhale, cactus lunge right into those hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lunge. Continue with your own breath. If that left knee feels a wee bit cranky here, you can always place a towel or a little cushioning under it. So take the time to make yourself comfortable here. Don't let yourself fight through the pose on that knee. Continually drawing that right toe back toward the face as we extend. And see if we can find a point of focus out in front. So something that's not moving to fix our gaze. Find our drishti point. And then back into cactus lunge wherever we're at. We're going to bring both hands to the front of the mat. Coming off that left knee, gently stepping left foot up to meet right. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, keeping left hand grounded. We're going to inhale that right arm up and open the heart. Bend the right elbow, bring the back of the hand to rest on that lower back. As we peel the heart open, take the gaze up if it feels okay in the neck. Pressing back through the left heel, pressing the left hand into the ground for 3, for 2, and 1. Bringing that right hand back to meet left. From here, we're going to gently lower onto the left knee. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, lengthening nice and tall into the spine. As we exhale, twist to the right, and we're going to rest that upper left arm onto the right thigh. Hands in prayer, hands face forward. That right elbow points toward the ceiling. See if we can press the left arm into the leg to create a little bit of space between the belly and the leg, and really actively draw that right shoulder back to open the heart. Gaze goes up if it feels okay. Again, if you want to challenge the balance a little bit here, we're going to press into the ball of the left foot, lifting off the knee, and then press back through the left heel, but keep that lovely twist. Keep that lovely open heart for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release the left knee down. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both hands come to the floor. Step that right foot back to meet left. Into our plank. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga to the ground. Elbows tucked in. Nice strong shoulders. Untuck the toes. Press the chest forward. Keep a little bit of engagement into the tummy here. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Nice and easy, walk it out. Really starting to feel that energy in the body. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, dropping right knee down. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, we're going to open out into cactus arms. If you know that right knee might be cranky, you can always place a cushion under it at this stage. We're going to inhale, bring the fingertips to the front of the mat. As we extend through the left leg, draw the toes back toward the face. Exhale, bend into the left knee, cactus lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward, find that point of focus. Exhale, cactus lunge, open the heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lunge. Continue with your own breath. So we're trying to control the movement. Don't let the movement control you. If you're shaking in the pose, see if you can find a point of focus. See if you can get a little bit of engagement into those tummy muscles. Maybe you need to move that right knee out. Maybe you need to move that left heel out. So again, adjust until you find that you are controlling the movement. It's not controlling you. Every exhale, we're getting a wee bit deeper into those hips. Last one, cactus lunge, wherever we're at. We're going to bring those hands to the front of the mat. Coming off the right knee, gently stepping right foot up to meet left. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last active round, and then we're going to take it to the ground. So again, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart, spreading all corners of the feet into the mat, really spreading out through the toes, finding the arches, really gripping the toes toward the heels, and then letting them all release. Hands to heart, relax the upper body, draw those shoulders back. See if we can engage those tummy muscles, those glutes, those legs, a little bit of springiness into the knees here. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Option here to either step or lightly jump back to plank. If we're jumping, engage the tummy muscles, lift the hips, and land as lightly as we can on the balls of the feet. We're going to hold it in our plank for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Bringing the heart forward on top of the toes. Press the feet into the ground as we draw the heart open, draw those shoulder blades together. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Walking it out nice and easy. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, dropping left knee down. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Bringing both hands to the mat here. We're going to come onto the fingertips and just gently lift off that left knee. So keeping it nice and active. We're not getting into our yin part yet. We're just going to hold it here for a few breaths. So high in the fingertips, we're going to draw the chest forward, draw the shoulder blades back. And as we exhale, just allow those hips melt toward the ground. So that knee is directly over the ankle and not out in front. We're going to hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently, we're going to bring that left foot up to meet right and exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Last side, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge or jump back into our plank. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Baby cobra or upward dog. Opening the heart, really engaging the tummy muscles here. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Again, walking it out nice and easy. Nearly there. We're going to inhale that left leg up. Looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, dropping right knee down. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Coming down onto the fingertips. We're going to press into the ball of that right foot, lift the knee off the ground and press back through that right heel. Nice and active in the upper body as we press the chest forward, draw those shoulder blades back, and as we exhale, just allow the hips sink a little bit closer toward the ground. So just making sure those muscles are well warmed up before we get into those joints. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release, bring that right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Lovely, well done. Take a drink if you need it. We're going to make our way into our yin practice. So our calming, our soothing, our cooler practice. So for this, we will need our pillows. So I'm trying to use things that you'll have in your house. If you have a bolster, fantastic. So we're going to use our pillows and a block if you have it. Okay, so to start with, we're going to hold each of these poses for going to be 3 to 5 minutes. So again, depending on the pose, I'll be taking track, I'll be talking. So the first one that we're going to do is puppy pose with one arm, but supported. So we have done puppy pose before. What we're going to do is we're going to bring our pillow and place it a long ways across the mat. And then from here, we're going to start as if we're coming into our tabletop. So the hips are stacked over the knees here. You can tuck your toes under if you find those knees might feel a wee bit stressed, or you can always place a little bit of cushioning underneath the knees as well, because we are going to be holding it here for a while. So just make sure you're nice and comfortable. So again, almost like we're in tabletop, so we can start on that cushion. And then from here, we're going to come down onto our forearms, and then we're going to bend the left elbow until the left forearm is parallel to the front of the mat. And then we're going to extend that right arm out in front and just rest the head down onto that left arm. And we're going to hold it here. So again, this is only half the pose, so we'll be changing halfway. And again, you might feel you don't want the cushion. You can always put the cushion underneath the chest, bring the forearm to the mat, allows you to get a little bit deeper. But again, just remember, here we're going to be holding this for 2.5 minutes. So again, just finding a place that feels good. Nice active arms, so we're really reaching forward through that right arm, and we're really reaching over to the right with those left fingertips. If you find that right shoulder's pinching a little bit, you can just draw that right hand out to the side, creating a wee bit more space. And relax. So again, here we're getting a nice little release, a little back bend, a little release into the hips, into the front of the body, into the shoulders, particularly that left shoulder. Nice little bit of lengthening into the arm. And again, don't think too much about it. Just think about that nice deep belly breath. So as we inhale, draw that breath nice and deep into the belly. And as we exhale, just allow the heart, the belly, the head, everything melt toward the ground. So just make sure that head is nicely supported. We shouldn't feel that neck is stressed out in any way. So we're halfway there. And just be comfortable with the stillness. So particularly as athletes, we find these poses probably more challenging than a hardcore workout. Again, just try to be comfortable with that stillness, with that silence. Gently, we're going to tuck the chin in. We're going to replace that left hand where the right hand is, and then we're going to bend that right elbow, bringing the forearm parallel to the front of the mat. So we can either rest the chest onto the pillow, or if we went a little bit more height, we can rest the arm onto the pillow. So again, your choice. So just find a place that feels good for you. Again, we're keeping the hips nice and high. You might even work the knees apart here if you wish to get a wee bit more into the hips, into those hip flexors. So again, your choice. So just find a place that feels a little bit comfortable. Again, we're reaching those right fingertips out to the left. Allow the chest melt, allow the belly melt, allow that lower back release. Really try to press out every last little bit of stale air using that engagement of the belly. So really focusing in on your breath work here. Feeling the rib cage expand, feeling it sink toward the ground. Last couple of breaths here. We won't spend too long. And then from here, we're going to extend that right arm out to meet left. And again, just gently rest the head, rest the forehead down. Or if you feel you want to get a little bit deeper between the shoulders, you can rest the chin down. So I'm still using the pillow here. either underneath the arms, or if you feel you need a little bit more support underneath the chest here. Again, just feel the heart sink, feel the belly sink. The longer we stay in these poses, the deeper we're working into the fascia. So that's that tissue that works and binds all throughout the full body. Okay, so it's binding all our muscles, our ligaments, our tendons, our bones together. And simply by releasing into one part of the fascia, we might be freeing up something miles away. So we could be releasing into the chest, but we'll actually feel that in the lower body. Or we could release something in the hips and we might feel that up the spine. But again, it's only when we allow our body surrender to these poses that we can really access and work into that fascia. From here, we're going to bend at the elbows, make a little fist with the hands, and then place the hands just behind the neck. And then gently release the hands out front. We're going to tuck the chin in. Gently sitting back onto the heels. So we're going to come into a nice wide-legged child's pose straight away. Again, we can keep the cushion. So we're just going to make a little pillow by piling one hand on top of the other and just rest the head down here. Again, if you need to work the knees apart, or if you need to come out of the hips a little bit, and then sit back onto the heels and just gently rock the hips side to side. Again, we're not going to stay here for too long, just a little counter pose to release that back bend. And then gently tuck the chin in. We're going to come back up on to all fours, walking the knees together. Lovely. So from here, we're going to make our way down onto our bellies. You can keep that cushion where it's at. And then we're going to place the cushion just above the hips, so just right onto the belly here. And then we're going to come down onto our forearms. So we're coming into a little Sphinx pose here, but we're taking the pressure out of the hole by resting the belly onto the cushion. I want you to think about drawing the hands towards you. So you're not actually moving the hands, but you're gripping into your mat, drawing your hands towards you as you draw the chest forward. And then feel that nice strength in the shoulders. So try not to collapse into our shoulders here. So keep drawing the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back. And then staying in our Sphinx pose, we're going to do a little half frog variation. So upper body is going to stay the same, but we're going to bend that right knee and we're going to bring the right knee out to the side and we're going to make a nice little half frog pose here. So nice 90-degree angles at the hip, at the knee joint, at the ankle joint as we draw those toes toward the knee. And again, only if it feels good. So this is working into a lovely deep hip flexor release. Again, if it's too deep, just bring the knee down a little bit further, just relax into it. And then even over the duration of the stretch, you might work that knee a little bit higher. So again, work with your own body here. That left leg is relaxed. I'm still pressing away through the left toes, but relax with that left leg. Drawing the right hip toward the ground, still working the chest forward. Relax the head, relax the neck. I know as an athlete myself, I find the yin practice quite difficult, quite challenging. And it is just because I'm so used to just being on the go, going hell for leather, always in fight mode. So just to take this time to get a little bit deeper into the tissue, for me is nearly more mentally challenging. But again, sometimes that's the things that we need to do more of. Last couple of breaths on this side. And again, just being comfortable with the stillness, being comfortable with the silence. Again, if you want to draw the heel out a little bit wider, if you want to draw that knee up a little bit higher, just getting a little bit deeper for the last few breaths. Or if you need to come out of it, by all means, drawing that heel lower, drawing that knee lower. Lovely. We're going to bring that right leg back to meet left. Just gently rock the hips side to side here. You're going to feel that quite deep into the right hip. So again, just gently rocking it out. And then we're going to bend the left knee and bring the left knee out at a nice 90-degree angle. So at the hip joint, knee joint, ankle joint, drawing that left toe toward the knee. And again, the higher you come with the left knee, the more you're going to feel it, the more you flex that toe, and the more you bring the ankle outward. So again, go within what feels good for you. We're drawing the left hip down toward the ground, so we should feel this into our abductors here. And we're going to feel this into the glute as well. And again, notice if that right glute, that right bum muscle is firing against it. So try to relax that side and just focus in on the left. Again, just allowing the heart melt here. Every exhale, just allow the tension melt out. And just notice how it feels from one side to the other. So sometimes even in these deeper yin-like poses, we start to really notice what's happening in the body, where those imbalances are within the body. And again, not necessarily something that we're going to fix over a class or two of yoga, but definitely it's a start. Even just being able to acknowledge that there's something happening. Maybe you've been compensating on one side more than the other. Maybe you need a little bit more focus on strengthening, trying to get that stability and balance. So again, listening to those indicators in the body, which is sometimes when we are going through our sports or our everyday, we don't really touch in with those things. We pick up injuries, we pick up niggles, but we don't really get to the root cause of them. And sometimes we just really need to slow down. Last few breaths on this side. We are going to revisit our frog in a little bit, but for now, we're just going to gently bring that left foot back to meet right, and again, just rock the hips side to side. Feel that left hip, feel that left glute, feel that lower back. And for the last few breaths, so from Sphinx pose, we're going to come up into seal pose. So we're going to splay our hands out like little seal flippers. We're going to gently press them into the ground, lift off the elbows, but we're not extending or locking out. So still a little bend to the elbows. We're still pressing the chest forward. We're still drawing the shoulder blades back. We're still pulling the mat toward us as we draw the chest forward. We're going to hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release. Lovely. Again, from here, coming onto the forearms, we're going to sit back onto the heels into our traditional child's pose this time. So knees are together, feet are together. Again, we can bring our pillow with us and just relax the upper body, making a little pillow by piling one hand on top of the other and just resting the head down here. Feel that space in the lower back. So we're after doing a little bit of a back bend there in our Sphinx and seal pose. So again, with each opening, we want to do a little reciprocal stretch to balance the body out. Again, just using our child's pose as a little counter pose. We're not going to stay here too long. Gently tucking the chin in, sitting back up onto the heels. If you have a couple of pillows, you might need them for the next pose. So we're going to come into a little supported butterfly pose. So again, just making your way to the mat. I'm going to turn to face you here with this one. Okay, so if we're quite tight in the hips, we're going to find this, okay? So to start with, we're just bringing the soles of the feet gently together, allow the knees drop out. Now, if you find the knees are right up here, you might need a couple of blocks or cushions. I'm going to use blocks here myself and just allow a little bit of support onto the legs. So it doesn't have to be under the knees unless they are quite close. You can place them under the knees, but anywhere in the legs that you just feel that you're getting that extra little bit of support and those hips can drop out evenly. Okay, so if the soles of the feet are together and they're working away from the body, you're going to get a little bit more into the hamstrings. If you want to work more so into the hip adductors, we can bring the heels of the feet a little bit closer to the body and then just work those sit bones toward it. Okay, so that's just our setup pose. And even as the pose goes on, if you feel like you want to lengthen out or you want to draw those heels in, so we're thinking hamstrings as we press forward, and then hip adductors as we draw those heels toward the body. So from here, we're going to get our cushion and we're just going to place it lengthways forward. And this might be enough, so we're just going to gently catch hold of the front of the cushion and press it away. So we're trying to keep length in the spine here and then just rest the head down. So ideally we want the head to be supported, so that's why a second cushion or a pillow might help. And again, we're reaching as far forward as we can and pressing that length of the cushion away from us and then resting the head down. And we're going to hold it here for a few minutes. So again, find a place of comfort. So initially we're pressing the cushion away, and when we get that length, then we can relax the hands. Relax the head down. We're tucking the chin in toward the chest. Feel that stretch between the shoulders, but all the time I want you to feel that release of the lower back. So we're trying not to curl too much through the spine. And again, allow those knees melt out. And over time, you might need to shift the blocks out a little bit, or you might take them out all together. And again, it's just allowing the body melt into our butterfly pose. So not getting too caught up with what it looks like. Just feeling that nice release as we inhale, thinking about lengthening the body forward, and as we exhale, just release into that fold. And again, just trying to find stillness here. So notice any itches or niggles or anything that's going to capture your attention. It could be a thought, it could be a feeling. And just really try to breathe it out, let it go. Just take this time just for you, releasing into your pose. Again, notice if you're still holding tension in those hips. Just think about breathing it out, melting it out, letting it go. Each exhale, relax just a little bit more. Feel that lovely stretch between the shoulder blades, all the way down the spine. And maybe at some stage, if you're on two pillows, you might feel like removing one of them, getting a little bit deeper into that fold. Again, only if the head is supported. So we really don't want our heads to be hanging out here and our necks getting stressed out. In yin yoga, talk about a wave-like breath. So think about the waves coming in on the shore. So a nice deep breath, nice audible deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale out through the nose. Try not to resist the pose. Try to surrender to that feeling. Last couple of breaths here. And then gently, we're going to tuck the chin in, walk the hands back toward the body. We can remove those cushions out of the way for now. And our blocks. So many toys with this yin yoga. And then we can just turn nice and gently. We're going to bring the feet apart, bring the feet nice and flat onto the ground. Knees are still bent. We're going to bring the hands about a hand again behind us, fingertips point forward, and we're just going to press the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and gently windscreen wiper the knees side to side. So nice and easy, don't force the movement, just wringing it out. So our last couple of poses, it's going to be all about those hips. So again, that's why I like to do a yin yang practice as opposed to a solely yin practice. So I think it's so important that you've warmed up into those joints, into those muscles before we go into those deeper poses, particularly with the hips when we can be very tight already. Okay, lovely. Gently coming back to center. From here, we're going to crisscross at the ankles. We're going to bring the hands to the front of the mat and then come back into our tabletop. So we're going to do a little dragon pose here. So a little bit of activity to get into this pose. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift off the knees, press the hips toward the ceiling and draw those heels toward the ground, coming into our downward dog. And again, just gently paddling it out, pressing the ground away out front. From here, we're going to inhale the right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. We're going to drop the left knee down and untuck the toe. Again, if you need a little cushioning under the left knee, take your towel, take a blanket, place the knee onto the cushion. We're going to start on the fingertips, and then we're going to work that right foot to the very outside of the mat, bringing both hands inside. So staying on the fingertips here, that right knee is over the right ankle. As you inhale, press the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and as you exhale, sink those hips a little bit closer toward the ground. So you can stay here, you can come onto the hands if you wish. You can come onto a block or two, or your pillow. So again, loads of options here. So again, using the block or the pillow just allows us to get a wee bit deeper into the hips. So we've suddenly taken it out of the chest, of the heart, and we're just focusing on those hips. But again, just notice if the bum's popped up into the air, even though you've gone low, you're going to start to feel compression in the hips instead of a release. So you might need to bring the hands up until you feel those hips surrendering to the ground, and then see if you can get a little bit lower. But again, don't force it. Again, if you're quite close to the ground, you might bring a second block into it, rest the head onto the block. Just take that weight out of the neck. And we're going to hold it here for a little bit longer than we usually do. So again, just finding that comfort spot. We're going to stay here for a minute and a half. So again, just enjoy that release into the hip. You're going to find it a wee bit into that right hamstring here as well. Maybe shift that left knee back a little bit more, feeling into the front of the left hip. Think about lengthening through the crown of the head as we inhale, and as we exhale, again, just sink those hips a little bit deeper toward the ground. So again, don't force it open. The whole idea with our yin poses is we're just relying on the weight of the body, the breath, gravity to draw us into the pose. So we're surrendering to the pose as opposed to holding the pose. Relax the head, relax the neck. Well over halfway here. And again, even throughout the pose, if you feel like surrendering a little bit more, by all means do. Listen to your body. If it's saying to come a little bit deeper, listen to it. If it's saying to back off, again, listen to it. So it's a nice deep release. There shouldn't be any pain, tingling, numbing sensations. And if there is, you're just backing off, nice and easy. Last couple of breaths here. And then gently tucking the chin in, we're going to come back up onto the hands. We're going to keep the left hand at the center, place the right hand just above the right knee, and then gently take our gaze over the right shoulder, coming into a little spinal twist here. So gently peeling the heart open, drawing the right shoulder back, hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release it back to center. We're going to tuck the left toe under, coming off the knee, and nice and easy, we're going to draw that right foot back to meet left. Nice and easy, walk it out in our downward dog, nice and slowly. Lovely. From here, we're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, dropping right knee down. Again, staying high in the fingertips. If you need to adjust that positioning of the padding under your knee, untuck the toe, work that right foot back. Again, left knee is over the left ankle as we walk the left foot to the very outside of the mat. Both hands are inside that left leg. So to start with, we're going to inhale, press the chest forward, draw the shoulder blades back, and as we exhale, just allow those hips sink toward the ground. And again, you might stay here. If you're working into heart opening and releasing into the spine, by all means, stay nice and high. You might even come a little bit higher onto your block. So that allows you to maintain that space in the chest and also get deep into the hips at the same time. Or we might bring it out of the front of the body and right down into the hips. So again, walking the hands out. We might come onto the block with 1 forearm, 2 forearms. We might come the whole way down onto the ground, supporting the head maybe with the block. But again, not if the hips start to pop up toward the ceiling. So again, you want to feel that release into the front of the right hip and right into that left hip joint. And again, we're going to hold it here for 1.5 minutes. Just letting go of anything you've been holding on to. So not just in the hips. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. Notice if you're frowning. Notice if you're holding it in your chest, in your feet. You'd be surprised where we hold tension in our bodies. So just think about inhaling all that good, clean energy. And as you exhale, just sigh out all that tension, anything we've been holding on to, just let it go with the breath. Even bringing the focus to the belly breath. So really drawing the breath deep into the belly. And as we exhale, we're pressing out every last little bit of that breath, using that tummy engagement. And you'll actually feel the hips open a little bit more as you engage into the tummy muscles. So it's all connected. We're working into that fascia, so we're going to feel that everywhere within the body. As the muscles engage and release. And again, it's a deep stretch, so there shouldn't be pinching, there shouldn't be numbness. If there is, you're just gently backing off. You can come into your child's pose. So not forcing, just surrendering. Last couple of breaths here. And then wherever we're at, we're going to gently tuck the chin in, walking our way back up onto our hands. We can remove that block out of the way. We're going to place the right hand to center, left hand just above the left knee. Gently looking back over the left shoulder as we twist to the left. And again, just feeling that nice release into the spine, little bonus stretch into the front of the right hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release. We're going to tuck that right to wander, lift it off the knee, and really slowly we're going to draw that left foot back to meet right, and then gently walk it out in our downward dog. Gently coming down onto the knees. So we're going to do a little variation on our frog pose this evening. We're not going to hold it for as long as I usually would, but just because we have created a wee bit of extra space into the hips, we're just going to see if we can work into our frog pose comfortably. Okay, so you can bring a little bit of padding underneath the knees here. So again, sometimes I'll roll my mat up if I want an extra little bit of padding, or a towel or a blanket. So whatever's good for you, or you might find you don't need it at all. So we're going to bring the knees nice and wide. I'm sitting back onto the heels here, and then I'm going to gently walk the hands forward. I'm going to come down onto the forearms, but I'm going to keep those hips nice and high and in line with the knees. So we have a tendency to fall forward. Sometimes we have a tendency to sit back in our child's pose. So we want that happy place in between. And then from here, I'm just going to make a little pillow with my hands, rest my head here. And again, if you can't get your head to rest onto your hands, you can always pile one fist on top of the other, or actually take your cushion or your block. So again, I'm melting those knees nice and wide. And again, I might just stay here in a nice variation on my wide-legged child's pose. If I feel like going a little bit deeper here, I can bring my legs out into frog pose. So like we did in half frog, you can do it together or one by one. Bring in both legs out so that we've got nice 90-degree angles at the hip, at the knees, at the ankles. Draw those toes toward the face. And again, if it's too strong, just draw those heels back together, draw the knees back together, and come into your child's pose. So we're only going to hold it here, or should I say surrender here, for a minute. So again, find a place of comfort for you. Try to keep the hips high. And just release into the pose. So again, if you want to go the whole way into your frog legs, by all means do. Listen to your body. I'm finding a wee bit of resistance in mine this evening, so I'm quite happy just hanging out here in my child's pose variation. And just feel that lovely release into the hips. Allow the heart melt toward the ground. And when you can get the whole way to the ground, where you can place a little cushion underneath the chest. And even throughout the pose, if you feel like you've gone a little bit too deep, feel free to bring the heels back. Or if you feel like going a little bit deeper, feel free to bring the heels out into your full frog. So again, just because you chose one position at the start doesn't mean that you have to hold that. Listen to your body. Your body is your greatest teacher. So whatever I was holding on to there at the start of the pose, I'm starting to feel that release. So now I can come out into my full frog. Last couple of breaths. And again, you can stay here for a lot longer if you wish. So if we're in full frog, the first thing we're going to do is bring those heels back toward each other. We're going to press into the ground, come up onto the forearms, and then gently sit back up onto the heels. Nice and slowly. And then we can gently, really gently walk those knees back toward each other and sit back up onto those heels. And just gently shift the hips side to side. So just easing it out. It's really important in our frog pose not to come out too suddenly. And you can choose from here to come into Savasana for a few minutes. But for this evening, we're just going to finish it here. So we're going to come to any comfortable seated position for you. So it could be sitting back on the heels, it could be easy cross-legged, it could be legs extended out in front, so whatever feels good for you. Coming back to that intention that you had at the start of the class this evening. So placing the hands, palms down on the knees, drawing the shoulders up toward the ears, opening the heart, and just feeling that nice strength and length in the spine, closing down the eyes, and just taking that moment to come back to why you came here this evening. Gently opening the eyes, we're going to open the palms to the ceiling, and we'll finish with nice 3 active closing breaths. So we're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling, and then exhale, press the palms forward, release through the shoulders. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, arms out, reaching up, gaze goes up. Interlocking fingers, pressing palms forward, and release. Last one. Exhale, release. And then gently bringing the hands to heart center, closing down the eyes, and just thanking yourselves for creating a wee bit of space in your evening to come look after yourselves, create some lovely energy, some lovely space within the body, and hopefully take that with you into the rest of the evening and into the weekend ahead. And thank you as always for sharing your energy